Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. You want to see what's up at the ballpark? Well, stick around and see the San Francisco Giants slow down the Phils. Or the Kansas City Royals take some mean spills. See the Minnesota Twins at home and in first. Or Chicago's White Sox with a defensive burst. See the Yankee infield pull rabbits from the hat. And ex-Yankee Paul Blair say goodbye to all that. And hello, Cincinnati. All this and more coming up next on This Week in Baseball. Brought to you by Gillette. When it comes to personal grooming, most people come to Gillette, makers of Atra Razor, America's pivoting head razor.
He was a before, now he's an Atra. He was a before, now he's an Atra. Now he's an Atra.
Gillette Atra, the pivoting head razor 8 out of 10 triers preferred to anything they'd ever used before. Superior face-hugging action with new micro-smooth twin blades make Atra Gillette's best shave. So,
don't be a before, move up to Atra.
You work the docks. The ships are too big, the loads are too heavy, and the days are too long. But every day you do it, and another ship with a full belly heads out for sea, and you head in for Miller time. Time to relax with the best-tasting beer you can find, Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller beer.
In the National League East, Pittsburgh fans keep waiting for a Pirate blastoff to get them back in the race. But so far, only tempers have exploded. Like Big Dave Parker, none too thrilled that the Bucks trailed Philadelphia by 9 games. It's become an annual problem in Pittsburgh, one that Parker was aware of before the season began.
I think the most important thing for the Pirates is to get off to a good start, something that we haven't done over the last 2 or 3 years. And I think if we get off to a good start, instead of falling way behind early in the season, we definitely are capable of winning the Eastern Division title.
No one can explain why a team that finishes so fine can start like this. And how do you explain the fine start of the Cincinnati Reds on top in the West? Pete Rose is gone, Tom Seaver and Bill Bonham have been out, but Junior Kennedy fills in with 3 hits, thanks to a little help from the Pirates. Help also came from recently released Yankee Paul Blair, who stepped in for the slumping Cesar Geronimo and promptly displayed this power in another victory. Blair is known as a grade A defensive replacement, but to feel at home in Cincinnati, you have to swing the bat, and you also have to run the bases. Watch Ken Griffey put the heat on the Pirate defense. Bullpen ace Doug Bear, already with 6 saves, is another important ingredient in the Reds' victory formula. Somehow they don't quite look like that grand old Big Red machine, but this could be the year to return to the top of the National League West. In the Eastern Division, St. Louis Cardinal fans have been treated to far better sights than the Cards provided them a year ago. Last season, the Redbirds let the close one slip away, but now they're hanging on and hanging in as pennant contenders. Pete Vukovich leads a pitching staff that now can put more trust in its defense, even on base hits. But the big difference for Cardinal pilot Ken Boyer has been the stunning resurrection of a St. Louis treasure, 39-year-old Lou Brock, leading the league in hitting after many had written him off. Baseball's all-time top base stealer should make more history this season with career hit number 3,000. But now he's just really enjoying the game, which means, of course, stealing an occasional base. Brock even has an heir apparent, Tony Scott, one of the league's top hitters and tied for second in steals with 11. Pitch-outs can't even stop him. The Cardinals don't hit many homers, but they can sure stretch those extra bases. Watch Keith Hernandez. What fortunes lie in the cards for 79? Well, it's still early, but right now the deck sure looks a lot brighter than 1978. In San Francisco, the fortunes of the Giants brightened considerably as they stopped the Philadelphia Phillies' 7-game winning streak and won 2 out of 3 from the Eastern Division leaders. Old stretch Willie McCovey rips away. The 41-year-old McCovey was right in the middle of things as the Giants played fast and furious. Willie McCovey can start them and end them. Double plays, that is. A San Fran turnoff. Compliments of the golden oldie at first. And some younger guys scrambling to get back on track in the West. In the final game, Dick Ruthven and the Phillies got back in step. Mike Anderson. Del Unser. And Ron Reed in relief with 4 scoreless innings to lower his league-leading ERA to 0.43. No question the fans saw a little of everything in San Francisco. Now for this week's Volkswagen quiz. In the same series between the Phils and Giants, San Francisco's Ed Haliki pitched a two-hitter. Both hits were collected by the same batter, Del Unser. In 1969, a pitcher threw a four-hit, and one man collected all four hits. Can you name both players? Stay tuned.
That Volkswagen Rabbit really handles. Is that why you're driving it?
Not really.
Well, is it because it can go from 0 to 50 in 8.3 seconds? But then why are you driving a Rabbit?
Because it has more headroom than my Rolls Royce.
Is that such a big deal?
It is. If you're Will Chamberlain.
Volkswagen does it again.
As the wheels turn in the American League East, the Baltimore Orioles keep wheeling straight ahead, enjoying a hot start, bringing back memories of their glory years 1 decade ago. Now the Birds are back on top. One reason, a Baltimore tradition, strong defense. Brooks Robinson would appreciate this effort by Rich Dower, even though the runner beats it out. And all of Baltimore appreciates the booming bat of Ken Singleton, now leading a much improved offense. This home run was Singleton's number 9, lifting his RBI total to 27. As for pitching, the flock is stocked. Mike Flanagan, with 6 early season wins, has a good chance to better his 19 of last year.
Well, 19 wins was a good year, I guess, but I was more or less anticipating 20 from the beginning. Had got off to a good start, won 12 the first half, had a bad leg come up in the second half, so it kind of slowed me down. A little disappointed, hope for better luck this year.
Their fast start has all the Orioles expecting better luck this year. Traditionally, Baltimore's been one of the strongest second-half clubs in baseball, which could be a signal of things to come from the Eastern Division. In the American League West, the Minnesota Twins issued no advance signals that they'd be off to the best start in the league. Now, players like Glenn Adams have put everyone on the alert. The Minnesota Mashers hit home runs in 16 consecutive games, a club record, and without a Harmon Killebrew. The Twins also have the league's best team batting average, led by Roy Smalley and this man, Rob Wilfong, who batted .372 in Minnesota's first 30 games. Veteran Jerry Koosman has already won twice as many games as last year. Even helps out on defense. Koosman won his first 6 decisions, with more than a little help from reliever Mike Marshall, who finished 5 of them. For the Boston Braves, it used to be spun and sane and pray for rain. Now it's Marshall and Coos, and the Twins don't move. Perhaps the Twins will soon come down to earth with a much tougher schedule, but so far Cinderella has yet to lose her slipper in Minneapolis. Meanwhile, the 3-time division-winning Kansas City Royals are hanging tough while enduring more than their share of hard knocks. Second baseman Frank White had his wrist broken on this pitch and will miss several weeks. Al Cowens took a meaner blow, one that fractured his cheekbone. Cowens could miss a month. The Royals are the type of club that once they get rolling, they're almost impossible to stop. But so far, it's been stop and go with some very nasty bounces. That play virtually knocked out George Brett, who's had enough problems finding his batting groove. A painful blow, but one from which Brett recovered in a few days. More fortunate Royals, such as catcher Darrell Porter, are thriving. In Kansas City's first 32 games, Porter hit .349 while driving home 30 runs. Porter also carries his weight behind the plate. Manager Whitey Herzog will testify to that.
I think that Darrell right now ranks up there with Munson and Fiss, and defensively, Sundberg is probably the best catcher in our league. But when you look at the hitting part of it, the power part of it, and the overall catching every day, I think Porter might just be the best in our league.
And one of the best center fielders is Amos Otis. One of the league's top hitters, Otis is also tied for the league lead in runs scored, 30, and second in stolen bases, 13. Of the top 5 hitting clubs in the league, 4 are in the West, including the Royals and the free-swinging Chicago White Sox. Eric Soderholm prepares Comiskey Park's favorite dish, a swing of the bat for another Sox hit as another Sox runner races for the plate. 8 White Sox were hitting .300, including Greg Pryor, who along with fellow infielder Alan Bannister have really surprised with high batting marks. Outfielders Chet Lemon and this man Ralph Garr have been skyrocketing, but their bats were expected to charge up the park. The Sox are playing around .500 baseball, but sometimes what they take with their bats, they give away with their gloves. But maybe that tune will change. Claudell Washington in right field, and now playing manager Don Kessinger at short. Yes, summer is arriving in Chicago, and so are the White Sox. Now, the answer to this week's Volkswagen quiz, brought to you by the '79 Rabbit, Dasher, and Scirocco. Volkswagen does it again. 10 years ago, one pitcher in the National League threw a 4-hitter, with one hitter getting all 4 hits. The pitcher, Steve Blass of the Pirates. The hitter, Billy Williams of the Cubs, who cracked 2 doubles and 2 home runs.
He wasn't before. Now he's an Atra. He wasn't before. Now he's an Atra. Now he's an Atra.
Gillette Atra, the pivoting head razor 8 out of 10 triers preferred to anything they'd ever used before. Superior face-hugging action with new micro-smooth twin blades make Atra Gillette's best shave. So,
don't be a before, move up to Atra.
The Porsche 924. Except for the roll bar, harness, and fire extinguisher, it's a showroom model. What do racing drivers like about this Porsche?
It's like the car was running on rails.
It's the way that this car comes out of the turns. It's just fantastic.
The cornering, the balance. I've driven Datsun Zs, but I prefer this 924.
Racers helped design this car. Believe me, racers can tell.
What will you like about the Porsche 924? You'll never know till you try one, will you?
When you're out at the ballpark, check the scoreboard, because you might see some odd things up there. You might also see some odd things down on the base paths. For example, Terry Whitfield of San Francisco launches one of baseball's real crowd pleasers. All the way round for an inside the park home run. There have been quite a few inside the parkers this year. Gary Matthews of Atlanta demonstrates another. Every player longs to run one out at least once, from Babe Ruth to Seattle's Willie Horton, the ancient mariner. Here we go. Go, Willie! Come on, man. The last lap or last gasp. Well, leave it to the younger guys, Willie. Of course, everyone has to watch his step on the bases. Life can be mighty treacherous out there, not to mention confusing. Watch. A run scores, but now the lead runner's hung up. The trailing runner moves to third, but the lead runner goes back. What a mess. The lead runner was safe but didn't know it. The trailing runner was the odd man out. And now, so is the lead runner. Double play. Madness on the bases can strike anytime and any team. For a change of pace. Some smart thinking by Yankee third baseman Greg Nettles. One out. A heads-up double play. One you won't see often. You won't see this often either. The Oakland A's in the field. Baltimore runners on second and first. No outs. Gary Renekid back. Now watch. One out, 2 outs, a triple play. How about that? And how about Reggie Jackson, who had a scorcher of a week, a .462 batting average with 3 homers and 11 RBIs. Jackson also extended his consecutive game RBI streak to 10, 2 short of the Major League record. Reggie's bat gave the American League champs a needed boost, while the National League champs got a boost from Ron Cey and the entire Dodger infield. The LA third baseman hit .409 during the week with 3 homers and 8 RBIs. Second baseman Davey Lopes had a .346 average with 3 homers and 5 RBIs. Shortstop Bill Russell hit .387, 1 homer, 8 RBIs. And to round out the infield for the Dodgers, first baseman Steve Garvey batted .409 with 3 homers and 8 RBIs. Altogether, the Los Angeles infield hit .370 with 10 home runs, 29 runs batted in, and the Dodgers won all 7 games. But this week, the Gillette Special goes to the Yankee infield for spectacular defense, all in 1 inning. Third baseman Greg Nettles holds a potential extra baser to a single. This play set up what happened next. Double play. How about that? Let's watch it again. Bucky Dent to Willie Randolph. Over to Jim Spencer. Only 1 more out. And again, watch Jim Spencer. See you next week, folks, on This Week in Baseball.
English leather cologne for men.